The question I want to ask you is, how great are you at staying in control when something happens in your life, like adversity, shit goes down? How great are you at like maintaining your power? Just give yourself like a little quick assessment. How are you doing? How's it go for you? How great are you at keeping in your power? Because we all have these points in our lives, right? Of course we do. Everybody does. Even in sunny Barbados, they still happen. In one form or another, everybody does. How do you feel about these times? Like how do you feel? How do you deal with it when it comes up in your life? I always think of what Napoleon Hill said. He said, every adversity holds the equivalent seed of a greater benefit. And that's how I choose to look at adversity, right? Like pain, failure, defeat, setbacks, losses, anything that doesn't feel good, right? Feeling is a word that we've created to describe the frequency we're in. Okay, so anything that doesn't feel good, can you find the seed of the greater benefit? Because they're all part of the human experience. Like no one's winning all the time. Even if perception from the outside in looks like they're winning, they're always winning. Those who succeed are the ones who don't let all of these perceived failures, setbacks, they don't even faze them. They persist. They see the hardships as tests. That's it. Then they can grow and carry on. I want you to even grab a pen right now, and I want you to write down adversity is a blessing in disguise. Adversity is a blessing in disguise. And I get the question all the time, well, how can you say when something negative happens to me that that's a blessing? Again, unless you have some magical time machine where you can go back and like do something about what happened, doesn't it make sense? Like, even if you're a really logical person, doesn't it make sense that you should just take the lesson from it and grow? Like, what's the point in like harboring more negative energy around it? What would be the point? We say, well, this person did this to me. Well, again, it's already done. So you can either keep holding resentments, grudge, fear, or you can say, what did I learn from it? How did that situation, how did that person, how did that experience grow me in ways that I would not have grown in any other way? You are a human having a human experience. And as a human, your purpose is to grow. Your spirit is experiencing things through your human experience. It's all it wants is growth. That's it. And we are on purpose exposed to different kinds of people, outside circumstances, loss, fear, on purpose. Because had you not had the experience of what you perceive as bad, you wouldn't know what good is. And if in the same breath, if you didn't perceive the good, you wouldn't be able to categorize adversity as adversity. But every single person that you can see has gone through some sort of pain. They have also learned, and so can you through reflection of your own life, that everything is happening for us, never to us, ever. Ever, ever, ever. At the end of the day, I want to tell you it's going to be okay. For a short time, it might seem like it's the worst thing ever that you're ever going to go through. But know that soon you will overcome it. If you can find the beauty in every situation, you can overcome anything. I actually did that in the last year. So it was just over a year ago, like a couple weeks ago, that my mom died. And my mom was my person, like hands down, my person. Everybody think of your person right now. Okay. She was my person. And my husband always said, oh my gosh, like when your mom eventually goes, like it's probably just gonna be the worst thing. And guess what? It wasn't. Because I asked myself the question I just said to you, what am I learning from this? How can I grow through this? Because either way, I can't stop anybody from dying. One day we moved into this meat stick and we're going to move out. Fact. Right? It's a fact. But to some people, death is like the worst thing. Their biggest fear. But what if you took any adversity? That's just one most recent for me, and say, how am I growing? How am I learning? What can I do with this? Because I can't stop it from happening. So, like, getting myself all worked up over it is not, if anything, that just puts me in a crappy vibration. And I don't know if anybody knows my mom, she would kick my butt. If her moving out of her body put me in a crappy vibration for the rest of my life. Right? But what is in your thinking that is putting you in a crappy vibe? Typically, it's something, it's just a complete outside circumstance that you have no control over. Somebody said something, somebody did something, maybe somebody died. Maybe it was something a system did, like your work or the government or whatever. Okay? It's outside of you. I want you to just, whatever that is for you, I want you to ask yourself, what am I learning? Any perceived failures that you have, what did you learn? Okay, perceived failures are just that. They're perceived. They're like little experiments that didn't go as planned. You can either make excuses around them, get yourself all worked up and in a crappy vibe, or you can say, what did I learn from it? And pivot and make decisions from that space. Overcoming every obstacle is the greatest strength that you can possess. And eventually it'll become a habit. It will become a habit for you to not, like, you guys can imagine, I used to make everything a big deal. Which is probably why Dave was like, oh my gosh, when Dylan's mom dies, that's not going to be good. So it was going to, I felt everything big. When I was happy, I was, oh, when I was sad, I was, oh, like I was on both ends of the spectrum constantly. Until I made a decision to say, I'm here to experience all of these things. And I need to experience this in order to experience this, and vice versa. If everything was just like this all the time, you'd be so bored. You would be. You might be like, no, I wouldn't be. You would be. You would be, because you wouldn't be experiencing anything. You wouldn't be having the human experience. You wouldn't be able to change. Could you imagine living in a world that you couldn't change? You couldn't change as a human. You couldn't make a decision and everything was just flat. You wouldn't be having the human experience. Problems, pain, discomfort, all of these things that come to us in life, they're not meant to stop us. They're meant to strengthen us. Okay, but here's the thing. I can't give you a handbook on how to become immune to suffering. I want you to take that thing that's bringing you pain right now, and I want you to focus on it. Okay, and I want you to ask yourself, like, how do I feel when I even think about emotional pain? What do you connect it with? Have you ever thought about it as a positive thing in your life? Like, feeling pain in your life has pretty much the same concept as experiencing failure. We don't like it, but it's necessary. And I get it. Not everybody sees it this way, but do me a favor and just try. Humor me. Because it's a matter of perspective. Pain can be your bestie if you let it. Your biggest teacher. And you will be given the same lessons over and over and over in your life until you learn them. So might as well let it be your teacher, right? Some people say, oh, but I've had this and this and this and this, and it's just one thing after another. But if you let it, pain can move you forward. And it can actually propel you to take the action that you've been holding yourself back from taking. Like, it pushes you when you're not happy with what you have seen and who you are. Like, with pain, you will move forward faster. Because what do you do when you're unhappy? You try to figure out what you can do to make yourself happy. If you were just here all the time, you'd be taking zero action. Your spirit wouldn't be seeking expression, and you would disintegrate. Because if you're not in creation, you're in disintegration. You are more likely to change and make progress. Like, do you know what's worse than pain? Feeling comfortable. If you feel that where you are at right now is fine, it's fine. I talk to people all the time. They're like, I'm like, how's it going? Oh, it's fine. It's good. You've already started the dying process. You've already started. And you look at it as, no, I have everything I want. I have a job. I have a house. I have my kids are doing fine. Everybody's fine. I can tell you, as a human, you're not meant to be fine. You're meant to grow constantly. And typically people stop at like 30. they're just like, oh, I'm done school. I'm done growing. And this is where, like, our society, we've confused education with wisdom. They're not the same thing. And wisdom is going to come through your experiences. Because you're not meant to be fine. Feeling unsatisfied and always wanting more is a great indicator that you want your life to be different. There's nothing wrong with it. I want you to be self-centered. What? Be centered. You are the center of your own universe. And when things happen in it, be self-centered. Like, center everything around you and your growth, and watch your whole life change. Watch your happiness go up. Watch your health go up. Watch your satisfaction, your relationships, your bank account, your business, whatever it is, go up. Walt Disney said, we keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Be curious. Ask, how much more can I be? How could this get better? If you think it's fine right now, ask, but how could it be better? How could it be better? But I tell you, if you're not using your pain to motivate you, you're missing out. It's like there's these two twin forces that drive human beings, pain and pleasure. And human beings will do almost anything to avoid pain and gain pleasure. Out of the two, which do you think is more of a motivator for people? It's not pleasure. When everything's going great, nobody's motivated. It's pain. Most people are more driven by pain. The pain of potentially losing something rather than the pleasure of potentially gaining something. When you get what you want, your drive is gone. Think of something like sex. You have this huge drive, and then you have it, and then it's gone. You got it. It's done. And then the desire is gone. When it comes to your why and your purpose for achieving your goals, the more pain-inducing reasons you can have, the better. And use that pain to fuel you. Like, a lot of people keep staying in a job that they hate because there's the pain. They don't want to be, there's the pain of having no money or being in debt or not being able to tell people what they do for a living, because that's how people define themselves. Whereas what if you looked at the pleasure of having freedom to do what you want when you want? To travel, buy whatever you want. See, me not being able to do that, that is pain to me. And that's what I make my decisions from. It is a very powerful emotion. I want you to reflect on that this week. How have I used pain in the past, and how can I continue to use that pain to move forward? Use it as your secret motivation. And watch and see what will happen in your life. It's incredible. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Go use that pain. Bye-bye.